Hello new Condors, welcome to FTR, and in video 4 of this tutorial series I'm going to show you how to do all things Google Chrome. And the first step in getting Google Chrome on your device is to download Google Chrome. And if you look in my screen here, I have this prompt here asking to download Google Chrome, but I've already installed it on my computer. So simply just go to the Google Chrome site and then download this for your device. And then you're going to sign in. Now, this is an important thing I want to mention here. You can actually use Google Chrome without signing into it. However, signing into it allows you to sync the work that you do at FDR and also for personal use across multiple devices that you use in your school or your home environment. And as you see here, I'm already signed in with my what's called a Marisol credentials here. So this ends at marisol.edu.pe. And there's also a number of other profiles that are listed underneath, and I'm going to get to that in a second. But the most important thing is that when you guys sign into Google Chrome, you also create what's called a Chrome profile. And the reason is because you might have multiple Google accounts that you want to access from time to time. And so I'm right now signed in under my Marisol address, and you also notice that I have these other accounts here. Now, if I go to the top of my menu bar, you're going to see there is this profiles part, or this profiles word here in the menu bar. And you'll see here that there is a number of accounts that I have. One says FDR and one is personal. And I really recommend this. And this is extremely important to help distinguish your work account from your personal work, which sometimes can get confusing if you're trying to access accounts that might have certain password restrictions or login restrictions. So the way that you do this is if you go to profiles, you can go down here and you go add profile. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to give yourself a name. I would call it, for example, your name and then maybe parentheses work or parentheses school or FDR, and then give yourself another personal account, which might be like your name and then personal or something like that. From that, you can also update your avatar, your theme, and at any time you could also go back and customize this if you want to in your profile gear cog settings here. So this is how to sign in with Google Chrome using multiple profiles. And then once you've also done that, you can access your personal account here by simply going over here. And so we can see here now, I'm signed into my personal account, and with that I can access all of my Chrome extensions, my bookmarks, and sign-in prompts for my school and personal accounts. In the second part of this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to streamline your workflow using a few different skills: pinning tabs, creating folders, and also bookmarking important websites to your Chrome browser. So here we are, I'm logged into Google Chrome like I showed before, and I'm just going to go over here to what's called the waffle. And what you really want to do is you want to set up your Chrome browser in a way that minimizes the number of clicks that you have to do to access content. And I'm just going to go to apps, and once you're also logged into Chrome, you're going to see all your Google apps over here in this drop-down menu. And you can also drag and drop these around in a way that suits you. But ones that you'll use a lot are Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Drive, and also if you're a teacher, Google Classroom. So I'm first just going to open up my Gmail, and once I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bookmark. And to add a bookmark, you'll simply go over here and you'll click this little star here. And to click this star, we'll bookmark that site, and you'll have the ability to put that into a folder or to what's called the bookmarks bar. And I'm just going to name this Gmail, and I'm going to put this to what's called the bookmarks bar. And you'll see it's all right here. Now I'm also going to consequently open up another tab just to show you a different way of bookmarking sites that might be of interest to you. And that is through a condensed naming convention. And so here I am in YouTube, and YouTube is a site that I use from time to time. I'm going to go over here to add bookmark, and I'm also going to bookmark this or tab this to the bookmarks bar here. Now, one thing I'm going to do is, if you notice here, my bookmarks bar has a limited amount of real estate, and I also have some icons here that I've also bookmarked, but I know what they are and I know what they look like. And so with YouTube, I know what this little red icon means. So I'm just going to right-click on this, and I'm going to hit Edit. And I can just get rid of the YouTube name, and when I do that, the little icon or favicon here remains. You can also drag and drop these and move these around. So I'm just going to move YouTube a little bit more over to the left with my other sites that I have here. Now, another thing you also might want to do, so you don't have this scroll of death with all of these bookmarks, is to create folders. And this is a really handy task that not a lot of people use, but if you left click or use a secondary click on your web browser, you'll have the ability to what's called add a folder. And I'm just going to call this folder FDR. You might want to have, for example, a folder that maybe says FDR for different topics. I work in EdTech, so I have a lot of subfolders on a variety of topics that I use here for teaching and training. I also have another folder that has more FDR specific ones on teams or curriculum projects or committees I'm a part of. And then I also have, this is a really handy one, what's called the startup folder. I'm going to show you how a startup folder works. Once you also create folders, you can drag folders into other folders, or you can drag basic bookmarks into these. And as you see here, I have Gmail already bookmarked. I'm just actually going to right click and I'm going to cut this one. But my startup folder is a folder that I use every morning. And so when I log into my Gmail account, I simply right click, and once I do that, I can open up all of these bookmarks at one time. So if I just simply right click on these, it will open up all these to the right, and you'll see those are like so. Another option that you might consider is also doing something called pinning tabs. So if I pin a tab, if I right click on my tab, I will go and I will simply hit pin. And if you do that, what you see has happened is the pin is now a little bit smaller over here. So we have this big tab here, it's a little bit bigger. We can see with this pin tab, I still see the icon here. I can also go to the YouTube and pin this tab. And if I pin a tab, what happens is even when I close my web browser, it'll open back up, and when I open those up, all my pin tabs will appear. Now, a downside about pin tabs, they do take up more RAM, so they may cause your computer to work a little more slowly, so do use them sparingly. And finally, one last tip I'm just going to show you. So you have a bunch of tabs that you might consider doing is right-clicking, and I do this a lot. I simply close tabs to the right, and if I close tabs to the right, those all become condensed and disappear. So a few different things to help streamline your workflow: pinning tabs, bookmarking tabs, and also creating folders here on your Chrome browser. Hello, new Condors. In the third part of this activity with Google Chrome, I'm going to show you how to do two things. Number one, clear your cache, and also give you a little bit of an overview to what are called Chrome extensions and also how to manage these extensions. So as you use Google Chrome and you're signed into it, and just to be clear, like I showed in the first part of this, I'm signed into Google Chrome, and there's a lot of websites that you might use on a daily basis, and sometimes for whatever reason, it may be difficult for you to log in. You might try to sign in with your Google account, and for example, the site's down or you're denied access. And if that ever is a problem, the first thing you should do is do something called clearing your cache. And clearing your cache just basically wipes your browsing data and any maybe site settings that may be interfering with your ability to log onto a website. So the way to clear your cache is if you go here right next to my profile picture here, my avatar, I'm just going to go to these little three dots. I'm going to go over here to where it says History. If I go to History, I'm then going to be taken to a page where you'll see in the left side navigation bar it shows to clear browsing data. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, by default you might show up on this tab that says Basic. I'm going to go to Advanced, and I'm going to do this of all time. I'm going to select everything. I don't want to have my password selected, but any site settings, autofill form data, I'm just going to select that and go to clear my data. And so once I do that, I can log out of Google Chrome and then sign back in. That usually solves the problem of all site passwords 99 times out of 100. So that is how to clear your cache. The second thing I'm going to show you is Chrome extensions. And Chrome extensions are really fun. What they do is they give you a little bit of functionality to content that you might be interacting with. So in this case, I'm just going to open up this slide deck, and my Chrome extensions are right up here. And I'm just going to click on this first one. This is Bitmoji. This is one that we use. It's pretty fun. You can actually sign in and get started. Well, I've already signed to it since I've cleared my cache. I need to log in again. And what I'm going to do is with Bitmoji, I'm just going to, since I've already created my Bitmoji account, I'm just going to look for a picture of myself. And this is a fun thing to do with students. Sometimes do this in advisory or sometimes in committee work. And you can just drag this right onto content that you're working with. And so you see here, I have a picture of myself, and I'm just going to delete that. Another thing you can also do is install Screencastify. This is a great video recorder that we have. We have a school account. You'll have to also authenticate that and sign in with your Google account to access this. But all of these are things that you can sign into and interact with web content that you might use for your students. Now, over here, you'll also see that there is this little puzzle piece. Too many Chrome extensions can start to slow down your computer. So if you click on the puzzle piece, what this will do is this will take away certain extensions that you might choose to enable or disable. And so this Diigo Web Collector, this is a great one for highlighting, annotating text online. If I just deselect this little this push pin here, you'll see that it disappears up there. But it's still not completely removed from my Chrome browser. So if I click this, that means maybe I want to use it for a project or with my students or for some committee work. I can then do that. Likewise, this is a great one for checking plagiarism called Draftback. I can reinstall that if I want to. Cami for Google Chrome. I'm not going to go into all these right now, but there's a lot of great extensions that you might use in your department or also with your students. The way to access Chrome extensions is if you click on a new tab, and if you click the little multicolored app launcher here, you're going to see there's this page called the Google Chrome Web Store. So all of these are web extensions that you may choose to use for your classes, and with that, decide to turn them on and off for certain times throughout the school year. So that's clearing your cache. That's also some common Chrome extensions in Google Chrome. For the last part of this video tutorial series, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to manage your passwords in Google Chrome. Now, me personally, I have about 6 or 7 passwords that I use for a variety of sites that I visit on a daily basis, but you might have more. And how do you keep track of all these? That's a good question. If you look up here, I've just simply typed up here in my Google search bar, Google Password Manager. And this is a great tool that also you can choose to use, or you can choose not to use it. But once you do this, you will see that this will keep track of the different websites that you use to log in with the different passwords that you've used with your Chrome profile. So I'm not going to click on all these, but you can see there's a variety of sites that I have used and I've bookmarked that have some sort of password login. A lot of websites do not require that, so they will not be found here. But this is a great tool that helps you kind of with, in my case, having my 24 different sites that I use and use passwords for, of keeping track of your passwords in one central location. So reach out to Coach if you have any questions.